You're listening to the Air Hug Community Podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is Judy Arizosa, and I am the host of the Air Hug Community Podcast. And if you're new here, let me just tell you what we're all about. We are a community that believes supporting each other can be wonderful, and it helps improve the lives of others as well as our life. We believe in living well, and that includes physical fitness, eating well, but also mental fitness. We believe that movement should be fun and that eating to live better should also be fun and delicious. We have conversations and stories from guests and myself that are often inspired by the thousands of conversations I've had one-on-one with working with women over the last dozen years, but also with conversations with several of my besties with our one-on-one walks that we love to take together. So have a listen, and I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, hello, everybody. Today, I am very excited to introduce our guest because I discovered her or somehow we discovered each other on Instagram, and her account just really spoke out to me, actually starting with her name, which has the word tenacious in it. So this is Tenaciously Tammy, right? And Tammy, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you?
Yes. So my handle is on Instagram, Tenaciously Me. And my name is Tammy. And I feel that my name should have been Tenacious somewhere in there because from day one of birth, my mom's umbilical cord wrapped so tightly around my neck, and me rotating back into her wound and them having to use suction cups to deliver me and being delivered with a diagnosis or the report that said I would never walk with one leg longer than the other. I have chosen to beat all odds and to say I am tenaciously stubborn and I choose to do. And that's exactly what I've done. And so that pretty much is who I am in a nutshell. And so within the midst of Tenaciously Me, my goal and my vision in life is to share just that, to not allow like obstacles like you and I trying to connect here on this platform. Because, honestly, when you first invited me, I was excited. And then I said, well, I need to prepare myself. So the first thing I did was went straight to your podcast. And I think that was the absolute worst thing that I should have done. Because when I got there, yes, I sized myself up quickly and I thought, I'm not qualified to be on her platform. Well, do you not agree that this is your platform? You're very comfortable here. It's a safe haven place for you. You've been doing this for a while, so you're very familiar. And for me, although I've been, I say, almost 56 years next month of my life, I've done things like this within the comfort of my own, atmosphere. And so I started listening to a video of someone just for, I think the very last one that you had put up, your podcast. And I listened to just one, not even a full minute. And I stopped myself because fear set in. And I said, oh, what am I doing? I can't do this. I felt like I wasn't qualified. And for a quick minute, I do exactly what I tell people not to do. I was sizing myself. I was, trying to qualify myself. And then you had some people on there that I felt a doctor. And I said, oh my gosh, I don't fit in this arena, but I do. And success is just right now, showing up today. And so that's what my message is. Don't look to the left, look to the right. And if you do for a quick minute, it's okay to study yourself well and to, learn from other people. But don't sit there too long when you get to a point of, wow, he's so phenomenal. Wow, she's so awesome. Oh my God, I can't, fit in that arena. Yes, you can. And it's not so much you try to be in that arena. You're in your own success. Don't size yourself up to someone else's, because success is a different meaning for everyone. I mean,
It
for some
is.
people, and I'm telling you from a testimony, sometimes it's just getting up that morning, just deciding to get up out of that bed and to meet and greet your day. That's that is a
That's it.
successful day for some people. And
So
I'm here. I made it.
I am so glad that you're here. And you said the word arena. You think about an arena. Let's think about
Mhm.
arena for a minute. Arena, an
Okay.
arena is filled in my mind with not an infinite, but a very large number of people who are
Large.
all one of a
Mhm.
kind, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I just took a little peek on your YouTube channel and I listened to your intro. And what did you say? You said that we are all God's masterpiece. And that
Mhm.
includes you and me and everyone else in the arena. And so if you
Mhm.
think of this podcast as just a tiny little arena of people who I keep inviting into the arena to chat,
Right.
we need everyone to be individual. We can't have all
Mhm.
everyone being the same because what would we learn from each other? We are
Exactly.
I love what you said, how we are all God's masterpiece. We're all one of a kind. And that's why I wanted you here. I never met anyone
Mm.
like you, tenaciously me. And I was like, I want to talk to her more and I want to bring her in. And one of the biggest things about this podcast is the goal is to improve the lives of others. And I try to kind of get out there and meet people. And a lot of times it's on Instagram. I'll do a little
Right.
search and follow people, and you just stuck out to me as such an inspiration to women. And that's why I wanted you
Mm.
here. Not, I, yeah, we had a doctor on, we've had a couple doctors on, we've had, other people on who have other little areas of expertise. But you to me are like the woman's cheerleader.
Mm.
And
I
so
am.
you are. And I just, people, you need to follow Tammy over on Instagram because I'll tell you what, every time you click on her, it's going to make your day a little bit brighter. But um, can I tell them the story of us trying to get on for the last 20 minutes?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
All right. So we record on Zoom, and I don't know what my Zoom is doing today, but I did have a meeting earlier that had a little bit of trouble getting started, and I should have known. So I got on, tenaciously, Tammy got on, and I couldn't hear her. And it didn't matter what we did. And I was reading her lips and thinking, okay, so we tried a second link and that didn't work. And so then we tried a third time with the same link. We don't know why, but now it's working. But I will say we didn't give up. And the first thing Tammy said when she got on was, this is a great example of trying to be successful, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. One thing, Judy, I've learned for me personally, whatever message for the day, I have either already gone through it successfully, so I am actually successfully moving in the midst of it, or it's on the horizon. And lo and behold, it's usually before we started speaking like today, I had to show up regardless. And I was patiently waiting. I just didn't want to interrupt on your time, but I was going to sit here until no matter how long. Now, my husband, he's awesome. And he was helping me get everything set up. But he was like, oh, maybe that's just the way it's supposed to be, and he's just ready to call it a day. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to sit here until actually you say, that's okay, let's reschedule or just call it quits. But for me, I was going to stay here. I was going to be tenaciously, stubbornly, in a positive way, me.
I
So,
love that. No, I wasn't giving up. I'm like, no, now this is, and I kept just thinking through my mind, like, this is just one of those little glitches. We'll get
mhm,
through it. We're going to do it.
mhm,
In the great, we could see each other in real time and we're both smiling, laughing. And I'm like, it's going to be okay. We're just going to get through it. So, I do have a question for you about pandemic related
okay,
because, and I
okay,
hope people haven't talked too much about the pandemic, but I think in so many ways we're we have not even felt all the effects of it yet. We don't know what's happening, but our lives have changed so much. And
mm-hmm.
I think I would love to know what you think, how the pandemic has affected people's both desire and their belief in their ability to be successful.
Well, initially, pandemic, I think has been a negative for a lot of people. But I want to share with everyone that's listening. Actually, I think it has been a really good day. I think people have had opportunity now to reflect and to evaluate and reevaluate themselves and their morals and their values and their goals and dreams and visions in life. And I think it has sparked some great positive things. I've heard many great things from people. The economy, whatever that might be, whether it's healthy or not, I think it has helped people in that arena. People are saying people are walking away from jobs, but actually, people are recreating themselves and finding other ways and other means. And they're being the reason why the numbers seem to be dwindling. To some people, say, there's so many jobs available. It's because people have gone and create their own. I think for me personally, I love people. I love being near people. I love to hug, and I just want to be around people. And for the last 2 years, my husband and I have pretty much been isolated from everyone. Our children, it means so much for me to be a part, but I have found creative ways to still have that relationship with my children. Just like you and I are sitting here now looking at one another. I like this. I feel warm. This is a safe place, and I have found a new friend. And so it has helped me to blossom and flourish to another level because Tenaciously Me is about women and it's for women. But do you know I ran from that for so long? I thought it was going to be such a hard place to be because of exactly what I've said to you, sharing with you about sizing ourselves up, comparing ourselves. So was it really I sizing myself up, or was it I knowing that when someone sat to listen, they were going to be sizing me up? And I think that was the fear that I really was running from.
And
Because
we can never prevent that. But,
mhm,
and you probably have said this,
mhm,
what other people think is none of our business.
exactly,
So if they are sizing up you or me, they're going to do what they're going to do, and that's okay.
exactly.
It just can't be any of our concern. But I just have felt that you have been so instrumental in improving lives over on Instagram. And I want you to
Thank
keep
you.
doing what you're doing. And I'm going to keep listening to you. And there's something else that you say that I think it kind of brings us back. And you say that simple can be beautiful.
Mhm. And that can be sometimes confusing. And I really hope that, and I'm going to continue to put that video up more often so people can hear the real meaning of why I say that. Because we all, I think, women want to feel beautiful, but I don't know if it necessarily means exterior. But we
Mm-hmm.
want that feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, we do size ourselves up according to the way a person looks. I think we're all beautiful. And I want everyone to know that. And when I say you're
Yes.
simply beautiful, I truly mean that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see beauty, and that beauty comes from within, that confidence, that courage, that learning to tell someone that they're beautiful and not be jealous or envious and not afraid to say that another woman is beautiful. And you don't have to, I say extravaganza, being extravagant, because for some reason we feel like if I had this, or I had that, more of this, more of that, and we're doing all this fluff and glam. And I don't think, yeah, it may look really, really nice, but that's not necessary. It's not really necessary. And I want everyone to know. And the reason why I say that is because I don't like hearing it, believe it or not, because I want someone to see me for the beautiful me that I am on the inside, not the exterior. And so growing up, people saying to me, family, oh, you're so pretty, you're so this, you're so that, and you're going to be a model and you're going to be. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is not something I want to do. I don't want to be out in the limelight. That's why being on Instagram for a quick minute was something that why do I have to put a photo of myself? So I wanted to just do years ago before I came back this last 2 years, I would just put up words or something or a picture. And so I actually was speaking to someone and about building, this movement. People say a business, but I say it's a movement. And she said, well, what is the one thing that you notice that really engages people when you do post on Instagram? And I said, myself, the one thing I don't want to post. And she goes, that's it. Continue to post a photo of yourself and share more. And I didn't want to do that. Okay. I have several books, Judy, that are just sitting there waiting to be published. And so the publisher was like, well, what are we waiting on? What is going on? He said, at the time, he says, I don't see you anywhere. Where's your picture? Where's your photo? Why are you not out there? He said, that's what you need to do. And I said, I want to do that. And so I sent a photo to him. He says, this little tiny photo, I can barely see you. He said, you know what? He said, if you're going to write a book, you're going to have to be ready to be out there. They want to hear and to see and to know you. You've got to put the face with the mission. And so
we want to know, like, and trust you. It's what I tell everybody.
You do. And so I tell my husband, he says, well, what is it? I said, they have to, even though it's on a platform as Instagram, I have to show up. I have to be accountable. I have to be reliable. They want to know that I really, truly mean what I say. And so I have to show up. And so I can post one Instagram feed and I'm like, I didn't get much from that, but then when I show up and share my story and they can put that story with a face, that's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
So for me, I did not want people, because I've even had people post, like guys, some of those guys are kind of mean. They don't even know what they're doing and why they haven't even read why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you think you're not beautiful. And I said, I didn't say I was. I've had some comments that make you, like, that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm not here to, I don't know, to say that I'm pretty or I'm better than anyone else. I'm here because I want other women to know that they are beautiful. And I don't want them looking at me. I want them to know that you don't have to look at me. You don't have to size yourself up to me, because I had a whole lot of insecurities that I'm having to overcome each and every day, believe it or not.
Well, we're all human. And I think every one of us is. And that's the kind of thing with, like, Instagram is a very curated platform, right? And if you're, and they tell us to have, I don't know, people who advise us, whatever, are like, make sure your pictures are good quality. It's a photo platform. And now it's a video platform, which is fine. But, showing up as authentically us is not a bad thing,
That's right.
And so, and I think it helps people to see, the wrinkles, whatever it is, the things that make us uniquely us,
Right.
I will always tell my age, on Instagram. I don't try to hide it, and it's because I think I'm probably older than the average woman out there, but it doesn't bother me. I'm actually I've always been proud of my age, for instance, and just owned it. And it is what it is. And now I wear glasses and I'm like, maybe that's not so glamorous, but I sure can see better. So.
Oh, you're actually very beautiful. I wear glasses too. I just haven't had my prescription refilled. Almost 56. I'm over here squinting, looking at, I get my reading glasses out, but you're absolutely right what you're saying. I mean, I completely agree with you. Instagram makes us think that we have to be a certain way. And so I just do it anyway. Believe it or not, half the time I look at my husband, I tell my husband, every photo turns out different because my camera, the lighting, whatever changes each. But I think people think I'm over here trying to perfect. And I said, it's so funny. And then I get on Instagram Live and I'm like, my husband, we laugh at all the different lives. I look so different on each and every one. And it's so like you and I trying to get on here. And I'm thinking, what in the world? So each time I get on, there's always some technical problem, but I do it anyway. I just, on my YouTube channel, it is, I think, the worst as far as the videos, the quality, but I got to start
I don't think
somewhere.
so. I kind of looked at it and I didn't think so.
I have to start somewhere.
Yeah. And it's not the quality. What I think is because there again, and I do this too, Tammy, is we're comparing ourselves to someone who's probably made, 800 Instagram
Right.
lives or YouTube videos. I have a
Right.
tiny little YouTube channel too, which I haven't really given much love and attention to lately. But even, just Instagram reels or Instagram lives, which honestly, I did Facebook lives a lot for a while. Instagram lives, I didn't do as many, and I'm kind of afraid of them there. Oh, I said it. And I think it's because even though we're not supposed to compare ourselves, I look at some very polished, Instagrammers who have like millions of followers. And the first thing I would tell someone is, why would I compare myself to someone with 1 million followers when I have, like not even 2,000 followers, it's a little bit less than that. And I'm like, of course they're going to have a different platform, and that's
Most
okay.
definitely.
And all the platforms need to be different. And so maybe someone needs to hear, from tenaciously me, who's just the way she is. And I really think the camera, you talk about the camera catching you at different ways. I think I actually think there's this thing between camera and person. And if there's a videographer, or if you are your own videographer, I think it picks up on what's, your facial expressions sometimes are what's happening from the inside. And so it's good to see the different, we're not not plaster perfect, right?
Exactly. Well, I'm getting on lives. I actually like it sometimes when no one does show up. But they'll get it later because I save it and I post it. But it feels good because what I'm saying to you is, when I got on, there may not have been anyone there, but that's my message. You still do it anyway, because it's not about you. It's not them looking at you and so on and so forth. It was the message. And I want them to hear the message more than anything. And so I'll get on there sometime. There's a whole lot of people getting on. Then I'll get on sometimes. There's only maybe one person or no one, but I still go ahead and do it anyway, because somebody's waiting. Somebody out there they needed to hear that message for today, starting with me, starting with myself. And so I needed to just show up and do it no matter what. And I look back on the video, I go, oh my gosh, there's some videos I'm just like, I can't stand looking at myself. It just looks so terrible, but it's not about that. It's about the message. And so.
And I think probably you're the only one who thinks it's terrible, because, you might have expectations of what you think it was going to look like, but I've not looked at any one of your videos and ever thought any of them was terrible. I will tell you that.
Well,
I think they're just expressing what's going on at the moment. And it's definitely a point you need to make. And that's how it's coming out.
Exactly. Because I'm at a place now where, if I get emotional and I start to cry, or because I wanted to get on the other day and I was just so overwhelmed and filled with tears, and there was a message that I want to get to that place where, if just jump on and do it, because I did do Facebook at one time and I was that way on Facebook. I didn't care if there was something I needed to say right at that moment. I would get on regardless of and say it. But you're right, Instagram has changed that a little bit, but that's what I want people to take away and to move forward with Tenaciously Me is, she just chose to be the best tenaciously Tammy that she could be. And that would help. Yeah. So
I am so glad that you came on and chatted. Especially, I'm very grateful that you shared that you had reservations, and because it shows your human side, and it shows all of us, it's okay to be human. It's okay to have self-doubt, and we do it anyway.
That's right.
We get past it anyway, because what is self-doubt? It's a story we tell ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
It's everything is a story we tell ourselves. So the great thing is we can rewrite the story anytime we want.
That's right. I don't know about your time, but I just want to make sure before we do go, I think the one thing that it's fear. as far as success. Everyone has a different definition of success, but whatever that might be, that's between you and yourself. But I think the greatest reason why people will not show up is because there's a responsibility that goes along with success. And I think it's the
Ooh.
responsibility that they run from more than anything. Because now that you have reached a new level of success in your life, as you shared with us earlier, you're going to have to show up. There's a responsibility. You
Yeah.
have to show up and be responsible and own it. And so people are going to be looking to you to prove that once you step out there. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the biggest thing that keeps people from the ultimate, is because of the responsibility that goes along with the success.
Yeah. That's very interesting because I've been chatting with a lot of women lately about all sorts of things, but things that require them to step up
Mm-hmm.
and actually take action and
Mm-hmm.
own a desired behavior in order to get to a certain level of success.
Right.
And I have heard so many excuses, but what I'm hearing in between the excuses, especially when they say, oh, I could never do that. I could never do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I'm like, well, if you can't do that, then you're going to stay where you are, and that's fine.
Exactly.
But I love what you say about when someone gets to that next level. And it's so funny because this is a podcast, because Tammy can see me talking with my hands because I do all the time.
Oh, I'm shaking my head in front of you.
Yes. When you get to that next level of success, that's the new baseline, and it's the new expectation, which means that, maybe it wasn't, and I've talked about this too, maybe this part down here wasn't comfortable because you were miserable down here, but it was familiar. Success is a new level that's unfamiliar, and it's a different kind of discomfort. It's the discomfort of the unknown. But you know what I always say, if you don't like where you are, why are you staying there? Right?
Exactly.
Might as well give it a try and not be afraid. If we don't like it, we can always go back to that other level.
That's the good news. And the bad news, it's in your hands. I mean, regardless of, it's in your hands. That's the good news. And the bad news, it's in your hands.
Yes.
The thing about, and then waiting for yourself to get ready or to be, you know what, do it right where you are with fear and trembling and step out, because with each level that you do step out, the next step, there's enough light for that next step that you're on. And you'll look back and go, wow. And with each step, you're becoming more successful. And that's what I do. I just do it anyway. I just step out there. I'm like, oh, well, here I am.
Here we
and
are.
I think that's what helps other people step out as well, to see you. Oh my gosh, did you see her? I can do that. I can probably do better. And if they can't, I am so ecstatic and happy that they can. That's what I want. I'm not happy until you're successful, until Judy is successful, and I hope that you reach levels of greater success from here on out. And then that's a good day for me.
See what I mean? She's a cheerleader.
Successful day for me. I mean, really, honestly, I feel like if I hadn't done anything enough positive in people's lives today, I cannot rest that night thinking, I didn't reach my goal today. I missed it. I missed the mark. And so I'm going to get up the next morning and I'm going to work harder the next day.
I can't imagine that you ever miss the mark. I really can't, because
well, I set it high, I tell you.
You do set it high. But even if you help one person, and that's so funny because my current gratitude journal has a little section on it at the bottom. So it's one page per day, but it's very, very simple. And the part at the bottom is, what can I do to help someone else today? And I love that. And sometimes I'll do my journal at the end of the day. So I'll write down what maybe I did. But sometimes at the beginning of the day, when I wake up, I'm like, the only thing I can think of is that I'm like going to cook dinner for my husband. But I'm like, you know what? That is something very nice, because he doesn't cook. He really doesn't cook. I mean, he would order out every night if he had to fend for himself. So, but anyways, that was just an example of, but sometimes if I just sit with it And my goal is to sit there for 30 minutes with a really good cup of coffee
Mm.
and just think about that. And I chose this journal because of that little part. Every year I choose a different one, but this one, I'm like, no, I might order the same one again, which I just got from a friend actually. But, what can you do to help someone else today? And that's so in alignment with what you just said.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's where um, you'll turn around and before you know it, you have reached new levels of success when you start focusing more on other people and how you can help and encourage them. Things just fall into place for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, gosh, all right. So we know that people can reach you on Instagram. It's at tenaciously me
Underscore after
underscore
me.
me. Okay. And I'll
Oh,
put that in the show
after no,
notes.
it's tenaciously me underscore.
Oh, okay. I'll
Mhm.
make sure that's right in the show notes. And then you have a YouTube channel as well.
And that's just tenaciously me.
Okay. And also, I noticed if people go to the link in your Instagram bio and click on the link, when then we can get to it, right?
Right,
That's how
right.
I found it.
There's a movement for the business part of it, and my husband wants to make sure that that doesn't shine and um, take over the mission and the message. And so I used to have like the business as far as being able to go to that, but he says we want to draw as many people as possible. We want the mission to be fulfilled. And so I hear a lot of people telling me, you need to have your your .com in your, and I said, thank you. I appreciate it. But we really want to build an audience and reach as many people as we possibly can. And so I just only put that one there because he really feels that that's where I should be even more. And I'm thinking, no.
Boy, that's a
But
lot of patience.
oh, he is, and he's the reason why I showed back up on Instagram. Is because he said, you that's where you need to be, and so get back out there. And so I'm here 2 years straight. I'll be 56 next month, and I'm excited. I'm celebrating.
Happy
and
almost birthday. I love that.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm in the next decade, but it's cool.
Oh wow.
Oh, goodness. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on. And can I just say, I did just order a really amazing mug from you. And oh my God, it was an inspirational. I forgot what it said already. I guess I'm going to be surprised, but it moved me the most. And I love mugs. You already know I love coffee because I talk about it all the time. But
Is it the
especially
one where you said you won't give up, or was it? Wow, now you got me. Which one was
which
that?
one was it? It's a black and white one, but it was very inspirational. It's something I wanted to look at every morning, and so darn it. But anyways, am I allowed to say that you have like mugs and t-shirts?
Yes, you are. You're more than welcome to do so. And
Yeah.
that's what my exactly like. I think that's what I was striving to say is my husband wants the message to move and to touch. He and I, we talk about this all the time, and you be the word of the mouth that speaks it and share. And that's where you say if you only touch one person, and that one person will go out and touch, maybe five, and then those five will go out, and that's what we want. And we want it to spread like that movement spread that way.
Yeah, it's a ripple
Mm-hmm.
effect for sure.
Mm-hmm. But most definitely, you can share.
Yeah. All righty. Well, folks, this has been to me very enlightening and very inspirational. And Tammy is definitely out there to improve the lives of others, which is such a big part of why I even created the Air Hug community, was to come on and talk with women. And not that men, guys, you're welcome to listen, but I just feel like, sometimes women need true little friends to listen. And sometimes we find friends in places like Instagram, voices that will listen, and podcasts and things like that. And so that's why the voices are out there,
That's
I know
right.
and Tammy's a beautiful person to listen to for that. So Tammy, thank you so much for coming on today.
You are beautiful as well. And I thank you. It has been an honor. It's been an honor.
All right. We'll talk soon. Hey, I think we all need Tenacious, at least as our middle name, right? Remember, we are all a masterpiece, and we need to just show up. Show up authentically as ourselves and be tenacious enough not to give up, all right? Because we are here for a purpose, and all we have to do is live our best life by being tenacious and authentic. Thank you so much for tuning in. I always appreciate your listening here on the Air Hug community, and I will see you back here again next Tuesday for a new episode. Hey, and of course, one more thing, please remember to subscribe and leave a review. And if you really liked this, go ahead and share it on your social media, because I'm sure there's other masterpieces out there who need just a little bit of encouragement.